Today I'll be reviewing Melodrama by Lorde, another one of my favorites. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to listen to it, definitely recommend the album. It's a beautiful vinyl too if you ever want to buy it. Same thing as last time, I'll be playing the music for a couple seconds and then stopping it to avoid copyright, so bear with me regarding that. Alright, let's go.
Wherever I go, that green light, 'cause on the aisle, come get my thing.
I love this song so much because it makes you feel like you want to keep moving, you want to start dancing, just forget all your cares and just let yourself go. It has that driving beat. She feels like she's stuck. She wants that green light to go. That build up of energy where it unleashes into just this almost Robin influenced heartbeat type bass. The way that ecstatic dancing movement that she does, how the song drives, it always can get me just crazy. Those synths you hear, almost like crying whale calls. It just ties the song together, where you have the driving beat, that urgency of wanting to go somewhere, and then you pair it with this just emotional, soul crying sound. Such a beautifully done song.
But my hips have missed your hips, so let's get to know the kicks. Will you sway with me? Bet you wish you could touch our rush. But what will we do when we're so? We know that it's over in the morning. You'll be dancing with all the heartache in the trees.
She's talking about how there's nothing that can touch our rush. We are so powerful. But she also throws in that question of, but what will we do when we're sober? When all of this rush is gone?
We'll end up painted on the road, red and chrome, all the broken glass sparkling.
I love those choral effects she uses in a lot of her songs. It almost feels like it's her subconscious asking her these questions as well.
Now you know it's really gonna blow.
If you've seen her interview, she's extremely genuine. She's very unapologetically herself. And to bring a bit of that fun side of her into the song with that sound effect, it just makes it so personal.
Half of my wardrobe is on your bedroom floor. Use our eyes, throw our hands overboard. Crush, drink up your movements. Still I can't get enough.
Instead of saying I watch your moves, she says I drink up your movements. The way you put your lyrics can really bring about that imagery, and it almost elevates your music.
Broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance to it. Broadcast the boom, 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 and make them all dance.
Everyone keeps growing and everyone keeps learning and keeps maturing. And during that time, as the things we used to know, as the beliefs we used to hold on to, as what we thought was the world starts to dissolve and get restructured by our new experiences, our emotions just go all over the place. Just how the music makes us feel nostalgic, but at the same time, that urgency of wanting to move on, figure out what it is that we need to figure out. Such a feeling of in the morning, at the end of a movie, or whatever it is, but you're just watching the skyline, and the sky opens up, and you're just like a bird wanting to fly into the sky. That's how I feel with that ending of the song. With all the sadness and all of these emotions, but still, you're free. You soar.
So they pull back, make other plans, get you wild, make you leave. I'm a little much for it. Everyone.
You feel like you're just a burden on people, a liability on people. And a lot of times you're not, you know? But when you're going through that feeling, you don't see that. You just feel like everything you do, people are just gonna get fed up with. And this next line, you know, I'm just a toy that people enjoy until the tricks don't work anymore. This impostor syndrome, essentially, right? That is so prevalent in nowadays society, where we feel like we don't deserve what we have. We feel like once people find out, then they're not gonna like us anymore. We're just a liability. They're just gonna say, you're too much for us. It's just such a painful feeling. It's self-hate. As real of a feeling it is, I just encourage people to understand that if there are folks that don't resonate with who you genuinely are, that's okay. There's plenty of other people in the world. Just be true to yourself. Don't ever think it's your fault. Now, of course, if there are little things here and there that you know that you need to fix and work on, everyone has them. Sure, go ahead. I'm not saying don't improve yourself, but I'm also saying be very careful that you don't overly criticize yourself to the point where you feel like nobody actually likes you. Because I assure you, with the 7 billion people in the world and the millions of different hobbies everyone has, there will be folks eventually that will resonate with who you are. So don't ever feel like there's no hope for you.
And then they are bored of me. I know that it's exciting running through the night, but every perfect summer's eating me alive until you're gone. Better on my own. Please
could you be tender? And I will stay close to you. Let's give it a minute before we admit that we're through. Guess this is the winner. Our bodies are young and blue. She's describing being in the car when they realize that love is no longer there. And they realize, yes, maybe I should go, I guess I should go. Let's just give it 1 minute before we admit that we're through. They still both want to hang on to that feeling of love, but they realize that it's no longer there. And it's that longing, right?
I wish I believed you when you told me this was my home. I light all the candles, got flowers for all my room. I care for myself the way I used to care about you.
She cuts the flowers for her room. She cares about herself like she used to care about the other person. A big part of rediscovering yourself is really taking the time to reinvest into yourself, to find out who you were before all of this happened. And sometimes that might be a different version of you, and that's fine. She's taking this energy that she was spending on this other person and putting it to herself, to figure herself out, to really understand herself. I can almost picture like a montage in a movie, like a nostalgic flashback of all of the different things that they used to be.
But I still remember everything, how we drift buying grocery, how you dance for me. I'll start letting go of little things till I'm so far away from you, yeah.
The love is coming to an end. And as much as they don't want to admit it, they've accepted it now. But you know, all of these little memories she has of, you know, how we would go grocery shopping or how you danced for me, like all of these visual imagery, she understands that those are a piece of her memory, but that she also needs to start moving on to the next chapter of her life.
Generation, Loveless, generation.
I found it interesting that she decided to put these two songs together into one. it's showing that progression from how they used to be so in love and then now they've grown apart. But how that ends up in bitterness, where you're disillusioned. And then she moves on to this next song where her lyrics reflect destruction of this romantic, rose-colored glasses view of the world that we have.
Asked if I was feeling it, I'm psycho high.
It kind of describes the morning after. You have all of this high drive, high energy things that you do in order to try and escape coming to terms with the different things in your life. But now she's cleaning up the champagne glasses. It's actually time for her to start processing and thinking about those feelings and those emotions that she has ran away from for so long. She shows that push and pull of that internal struggle of trying to figure that out.
Wow. Discover how we kissed and killed each other. Wow.
A lot of these emotions that we feel cannot be put into words or lyrics. It's very beautiful how she captured that within the last part of the song where it's just an instrumental break. The different elements that she places within it. Song can almost evoke those feelings without even having to say it in lyrics. Even if it's very short, to me this is one of the most prominent songs off of this album.
Bet you rue the day you kissed a rider in the dark. Now she's gonna play and sing and lock you in her heart.
She's gonna be the one who actively goes and sings and locks that history into a song or art or whatever it is. She has that upper hand, that power.
I ride the subway, read the signs, I let the seasons change my mind. I love it here since I started needing you.
She still rides the subway, she reads the signs, despite how difficult and foundation breaking these events were. She is finding that she has the power to survive, to go on and carry on and live her life. Also, the fact that she says, I love it here since I stopped needing you. That bitterness has almost led to a relief and a sense of freedom that she no longer has to be tied to that person. And past this dark period of time that she had to go through, she was able to really discover herself to the point where she now realizes like she doesn't need to live for anybody. This is her life and she's gonna take it into control. In her darkest hours, she'll find a way to be without them. A lot of times in order to discover ourselves, we have to go through periods of extreme darkness. And as horrible as it is and as disorienting and, inducing of existential crisis as it is, she really was able to find a way to be better.
In my head, I play a supercut of us, all the magic we gave off. And in my head, the visions never stop.
As you're moving on from somebody, you do still have times when you do remember them. It's not necessarily like a remembrance in a wanting to go back way. It's more just to remember.
All the stages and the stars, I turn all of it to just a supercut. In my head, I do everything right. I'm fluorescent, come home to my heart. 'Cause in my head, I come home to my heart.
I love how she always extends out her outros, where essentially she gives to the people who are listening to the album a chance to really project their own thoughts onto and their own feelings onto the song, as if she's guiding you in the first part, but then the second part, it's just really up to your interpretation, and every time you listen to it, it's gonna be a very different feel.
I'm a liability. I'm a liability. What you gonna do? Oh, maybe all this is the party. Maybe the tears and the highs we breathe.
We harbor so much resentment, so much bitterness, so much whatever it is towards, other people that might have done us wrong. But she also talks about how maybe this is a very universal thing. Maybe when people do get hurt, they just go through this period. She also will soon talk about how, but you're not who you thought you were. Through this experience, you've realized the person you were. It destroys all of those things. You have to rebuild yourself.
But you're not what you thought you were. Liability. But you're not what you thought you were.
I love that this is also a reprieve of Liability, where in Liability she feels not good enough for anyone. She just feels like she does everything wrong. But then in this reprieve towards the end, she realizes, you know what? Maybe it is a common experience to mess up sometimes. It's fine. You just allow yourself to fall and to get up to fall. It's not unusual. This is just a part of life, to go through these ups and downs in these dramatic times. We're always searching for that perfect place. We want to find somewhere where, we will achieve happiness or whatever it is. This passion, this curiosity is like burning her up. It's driving her to constantly try and find that perfect place. But what's cool is actually at the end of the song, she'll turn that around and she'll say, but what the hell are perfect places anyway? Where she realizes the places don't exist. We don't need to keep chasing after this perfect illusion that we want, where everything will be aligned and we will be able to just live our best lives. It's really all about how we decide to take the things that are given to us. It's not somewhere that we achieve. You just do your best to try to figure out a way to make that situation either work for you or to be accepting of that situation. Really, that struggle of always changing, always growing, always learning, always rebuilding yourself, that is life. There is no perfect place. And I think that's how she ends this whole album, where essentially that is the green light she found, is that there is no green light. There's no perfect place. It really has to come from yourself. It's not an external thing. You provide your closure. You provide what you need to be able to move on, to really just allow yourself to exist and live.
The nights spent off our faces. What are perfect places anyway?
All of these heroes, all of these people that we've built up in our minds, they're fading, they're crumbling, because we realize all of these things we glorify aren't actually really reality or worthy of glorification. It really is a universal thing to be struggling, although it is constant struggles. Best thing that we can do is really allow ourselves to be, to allow ourselves to flow with it, to not fight it, to just let it happen, because there's no perfect places. It's really just in our mentality how we decide to pursue it, and how we decide to go through it, and how we decide to learn and grow from it. So thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, Grains.